Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online Let's Talk video with me, Sherman. Today guys, I'm just gonna kind of do like a Q&A type thing where I answer some questions from you guys, giving you guys the answers that you're looking for, because I do get a lot of questions on stuff. And just to clarify, I did finish up my testing on the tank stuff. Nothing's really changing besides sword and shield, and even that isn't changing enough to make tanking worse. It's making tanking better, and it's also making sword play better, or sword and shield play better for a lot of different things. So but to go on to answer some of the questions, the first one being the one bar play stuff. I've been getting a lot on that. I am working on it, guys. I have been testing one bar play stuff with the new changes. I want to make sure that there's not going to be a lot more changes happening, because I don't want to release any guides or anything yet, and then all of a sudden it change before it releases. So just give me a little bit more time, please. But so far there are going to be some changes to how one bar play works. There's still going to be a spammable ability, and there's going to be a damage over time ability, and it's either going to be single target or it's going to be an area of effect. It really just depends on the class. It depends on the tools that you're using, that kind of thing. But I do have some plans for that stuff, and I am looking at it in a broader spectrum. So just give me a little bit more time with that. Some other things that I have been questioned on is, again, the idea that I focus too much on the meta aspects. I try not to, guys, because I am trying to change my channel to be respectively catering to or dedicated to the roleplay casual community. I'm trying to avoid any meta problems. The reason why in the last week's video I brought up the meta stuff was to point out what my findings were showing. That's it. That's all. Okay? There will always be a meta. No matter what we do or say, or what the devs do and say, there's always going to be those people who want to find the mathematical best to play with. And because of that, it does reflect the rest of the game community who go to play that. That's one of the reasons why I do talk about the meta sometimes. I do not like to talk about the meta because I am a roleplay casual dedicated channel. Going off of that same subject, to the people who play the meta and stuff, please understand, I do not dislike the meta. I do not hate the meta. I just don't play it because it doesn't offer me the kind of playability I want in the game. That's why I have never, ever really played it. I play it at times if I'm really trying to get something, and the only way I can get it is if I'm playing the meta, because that's the only kind of group dynamic I can get to play with. Then I will play the meta. Otherwise, I don't play the meta at all. Also, when it comes to videos of me doing content like dungeons and stuff, please understand, I do not have the same capabilities as a lot of other people. I'm not in a large guild. I'm not in multiple guilds. I'm in one guild. I'm in my own guild. And a lot of people ask me why I stick to just doing my own guild, and that's because I don't want to bring any negative stuff against any other guilds. Because of the stuff I do cover and the things I do talk about can reflect against the guilds I'm in, and I don't want them to have to deal with that stress. So that's why I only stick to one guild. So yeah, but going on, the next question is that I keep getting asked is, when am I going to start releasing builds? They're coming, guys. It's just that, again, on the PTS, if we don't see any major changes soon, I will start releasing builds. If we start seeing changes in the PTS, I don't want to release anything, because then if something does change to the build, I have to redo it. So I've already got to redo all the builds I just released, mostly. Not because they were detrimentally hit or affected, but because some of the skills changed and how they work. It does change how they play. So some of the builds that I did recently, I've got to redo to reflect the changes. So, and that's a lot of builds. I don't know if you guys realize this, but over the last 6 months, I've released over 50 different builds. And to redo 50 builds is not easy. It's not a task I can do in a day. It's something that's going to take me time. And every time there's changes, this happens. So the next thing is am I going to get back to solo builds? Yes. I do plan on bringing some solo guides out soon and solo builds, because I know a lot of people like to play solo, and I know a lot of people like to farm solo. So I'm going to be doing some guide videos and some builds to reflect that. But that, again, is going to be in time. It's not going to be right away. It's going to be probably after the PTS cycle. Which brings me to my next big question. Do you feel like you're overdoing it with builds? I do and I don't. I do to the fact of what just happened with all these changes. That can hurt when you do a lot of builds. So it can change a lot of things. So you got to go in and adjust things, and then you have to re-release those builds. So there is that is the problem. And then on the positive note, showing people diversity in the game and the fact of different options is good for the game, because it shows people different tools that they can use to obtain better playing capabilities. That's the other reason why I will be doing trial type builds or trial setup builds later, so people can see different options in different areas of the game. Another question is, would I ever do like beginner guides, advanced guides, expert guides for this? I asked in a poll recently if people wanted to see that. And just to show you guys some of the results to this is what the outcome. 31% of you said that you would like to see that added to my stuff. 49% of you said you would like to see some trial setups. 8% said no, I like the normal stuff. And 13% said yes, as long as you do other builds as well. So 31% of you sound like you want to see more options in my builds, so that there's more, like, oh, this is a starter build, this is an advanced build, this is an expert build. And basically what that would reflect is the different tiers of play. So like your beginner builds would be builds that would help you get started in playing the to dungeons. Your advanced builds would be being able to play dungeons, overland, all that kind of stuff, but also being able to move into the trial scene. Trial setups would pretty much be for playing all aspects of PvE, including dungeons, public dungeons, delves, trials, arenas, that kind of stuff, all in one. And that's what those setups would do. Would allow you that greater capability to play the game more effectively. That's it. A lot of the builds I've done in the past are there for more or less the intermediate player, the in-between area of the game, where you're advancing from starter play to expert play. So I have been listening to the community when it comes to that. A lot of people want to see more advanced builds, so they can see the more advanced tools that they can use for trial play, things like that. So yes, I am looking into doing that, but I do want to hear your feedback. That's one of the reasons why I do polls, is I want to hear feedback from the community, and I do take into perspective what the community asks for. The other question I've been getting asked a lot is, am I going to continue doing player requested builds? Yes, I am. I will continue doing that. But the way I've been doing it is I've been incorporating it into some of the builds I release. This way I can do a mix of builds still, and I'm not overbearing the builds. So I'm not creating too many builds at once. Releasing 2 builds a day is fine. Releasing 3 builds a day can get overwhelming for some people. 4 builds a day is definitely overwhelming, and 5 builds is not going to happen. So that's just a lot of work. So yeah, there is a lot of things that I do look at when it comes to different things. And another thing I keep getting asked is, am I ever going to show my builds that I play on live? A lot of the builds I play on live mimic what I create on PTS. So this is basically the Lord Knight that I play on live is basically a version of the Lord Knight. I use Plague Doctors with the Gladiators and Celestrix. This is what my main character that I play on live. Exactly how they're set up on live. I play them the same on PTS. So, and that's because this is my character from live copied over to PTS. So I do play them the same, and as you can see, I do have a sword and shield. I even have an ice staff in my inventory. I don't use these very often. Honestly, I probably use these maybe once in a blue moon. Most of the time when I play this character, I'm always running a 2-handed sword and bow. The only time I switch to sword and shield is if I need to tank a dungeon where people are complaining that I'm using a 2-handed. I'll switch to sword and shield and 2-handed back bar, or I'll switch to sword and shield and ice staff. But other than that, I don't change my build very often. Mainly because I just play it. With this update, there is going to be some changes to the way I play it, though. I am going to be dropping the 2-handed ability Rally, and that's because they took away the heal over time from Rally and gave it a burst heal only. It's nice, but at the same time, it's just not as good as it once was. I like the major evasion on there. That's nice, but at the same time, again, I don't really care for the ability. That's the reason why I switched to using Echoing Vigor on the front bar, and on the back bar, I'm switched out to using Ritual of Retribution from using the Dawn's Wraith ability, Power of the Light. Power of the Light's a nice ability if you're trying to get extra penetration values, but if you're not worried about it, restoring Ritual of Retribution's just, it works really good, and not only in group dynamics, but also in single play. Because it's not only is it a synergy, but it's also a heal over time and an AoE damage ability, so I like that aspect of it. Vigor I like because it has a really good way of keeping me healed, along with the Ritual of Retribution. They both together, I mean, it's like a burst heal. It's really nice. So, and it keeps me healed pretty effectively. So, yes. A lot of my character builds I use on live reflect what I play on PTS, or what I make on PTS, and that's because I find a build I really like on PTS, and I change my characters on live to reflect that. I still have my Northern Wind that I play on the live servers. I still have this character that I play on the live servers. I still have a lot of the characters that I've shared with you guys over the years on the live servers. So like the Assassin build that I play, the Argonian Assassin build, I still have it on live. I still play it. I play a Divine Monk now on live. I got rid of my Khajiit healer and turned them into a Divine Monk, a more stamina-based healer, damage dealer kind of character, and it works out really well, and I've been playing it on the live servers through dungeons and stuff, and I've healed a lot of dungeons with it now, and it works out pretty well. And that's a dual wield on both bars build, and I haven't had any issues keeping a group alive. So there are some changes I would like to make to it, but we'll see what happens. And again, please understand, guys, I don't want to be one of those people who does the cookie cutter builds like everyone else. There's a lot of that already on the internet. There's a lot of people who do the meta stuff. So I don't want to fall into that category. I'd much rather help the rest of the community play the game to the way they want to. So that's the other reason why I don't change how I do stuff. And that's why I told people that I've changed to the roleplay casual community, is because that's the community I want to work with the most. and help the most is that community, because there's a lot of people that don't realize that roleplay casual or average players don't have, it's not that they don't have the time sometimes to play the game, they don't have the ability to play to the level of a meta person. That's the other reason why I'm going to start doing one bar builds. That's the other reason why I'm going to start doing more solo play builds. And I'm going to show you guys how you can put together solo group, what I call solo build group content. Where you can take a group of 4 solo players, run them through a dungeon together, and you can get the same results as you would as a regular group. Because they're designed to work that way. So, I am doing a lot of stuff. And I understand there's still going to be a lot of questions from you guys that I didn't answer in this video, but please understand, I can only do so much as one person. And I can only release so much content before it becomes overwhelming. So that's why I try to stick to 1 to 2 videos a day, is that way I'm not overwhelming people with a lot of content releases all the time. When I was doing 3 to 4 videos a day, it was really overwhelming for people because it was just that much information. And yes, I do have the time to do that, but I'd much rather keep it down to 2 videos a day, 1 to 2 videos a day. That way it's easier for people to watch the content, learn from the content, and move on. So, but that's pretty much it. That's what's going on, and I hope that this answered some of the questions to the things that you guys are wondering. If there is any other questions out there on things like, you know, that you guys want me to answer, go ahead and feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them later today. I'm going to be pretty much off and on the rest of this week, just between PTS and the live servers. Mostly on the live servers because I've done most of the testing I need to do on PTS. Now it's just waiting for changes and then testing those changes. Other than that, I don't really have a lot to do here besides test new build structures and things like that, which I've been testing a few. I'm going to start testing a few more this week. Primarily like monk playstyle and bard playstyle, and then one of the other things I was asked is, and I forgot to answer this question, so I'm going to answer it now. Are you going to continue with the release schedule that you had before, where you're releasing 12 builds a week, 2 for each class? I'm going to do a poll on that and hear from you guys on whether or not you like that, and then I'll take that into consideration in the future, and I'll let you guys know. Right now, that is up in the air because of the fact of releasing over 50 builds in 6 months, and you know, a lot of those builds changing because of all the changes that happened and stuff makes it really hard to want to release builds anymore. I'm not gonna lie about that, it does, because every time I turn around I'm having to change stuff. And when you go back and work through 50 builds, it's not easy. So I would much rather release just a handful of builds every update kind of thing, and just, you know, show people how they can create their own builds. And that's the other thing I did want to talk about in this video before I close it out, is I want to ask this question. How would you guys like to see some more guides to builds? Like how to make your own builds and stuff like that. Because I could do that. I could show you guys how to put together your own builds using set combinations for stamina, DPS, tanks, healers, support characters, that kind of stuff, and show you like how you can build your characters, and that way you guys can decide on your own. Or would you like to continue to see me doing builds, and that in conjunction, whatever. I'm going to do a poll on this too. That poll will be coming out on Sunday, so keep your eyes open for that. That way I can get feedback on that as well. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked it. Hope it was informative. I hope it made you guys see more of what I'm trying to do here and how I'm trying to help. Remember, roleplay casual isn't just one aspect of the player base. I also want to help the average player as well. So it's roleplay casual, average play kind of stuff is what I'm mostly focusing on and trying to do. So, but let me know what you guys think of the video in the comment section below. Other than that, you guys know what's coming next. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. And then again, you know what, I'm going to do that other than that thing again. So other than that, that's it for this video. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and this guy might see you in game. Bye.